about a typical installation of a dry hydrant assembly into like a pond or a lake or any type of water source. You see a lot in rural and different areas. Most of the time you see the most common application is going to be a 6-inch PVC Schedule 40 pipe. The first thing we'll talk about is on the street side, how to pick the right dry hydrant when you're doing a street side installation. So typically you see a 6-inch pipe coming in the ground around 32 inches, and it's scheduled PVC. As I said, we pretend this pipe's at the street side. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is talk to our local fire department and determine what type of connection they want on the street side. And there's three types of connections they would like to see on the when they pull up and have to use this dry hydrant. So we'll have a standard 6-inch pipe coming out of the ground, and this will go all the way out into the lake or the pond, and this will we need to find the type of an adapter we can put on this. Comes in 4 different types of adapters. We have this is a plain adapter, which is just an adapter, and it has some threads on it. The second choice is a straight adapter, has the adapter on one side and a PVC pipe on the other. And the third one is a 45-degree adapter that basically just goes on like that. You just glue it on. And the most common one is the 90-degree adapter that goes on like that. All right. So once the fire department determines what you want, for example, we'll use this one right here. The fire department says they want to use a 6-inch NH. All right. All our dry hydrant adapters are NH or NST, which is called fire hose thread. So let's talk about a standard insulation. So they call for a 6-inch NH adapter with it. And all we're going to do is, it comes assembly just like this. All you need to do is have this pipe come out of the ground, and all we're going to do is put some pipe dope on here, and we're going to slide it on there, and it glues right on, and you're done. All right. So this, for instance, this is a male dry hydrant adapter. This comes in 6-inch NH, 5-inch NH, and 4.5 NH, and sometimes you see some 4-inch NH out there. But let's talk about that. So this is a male. A typical male adapter comes with a 90-degree elbow. You just glue right onto there. It has the adapter here. It has a screen built in so people can't put debris. It comes with a chain and a cap, and also a set screw on the bottom where the chain's attached to. So it's all ready to go. All you have to do is glue it on. So you can buy this 6-inch male adapter in 4 different ways. This is a 90. You can buy with a 45-degree. You can buy the same one with a straight, or you can buy it by itself. That's just the adapter. All right. So let's talk about the different types of connections the fire departments are looking for. So we talked about the male connection right here. There's also a female connection. This is a female connection. It has a swivel. Everything's the same. It's got a screen inside, but comes with a plug and a chain screwed on there. All right. And the last one is, they call it a Storz connection. This is a 5-inch Storz connection, and it comes with a 5-inch Storz cap chain. Everything's the same. You put it on there like that. It has a locking mechanism on one side. So those are the 3 different connections. Always check the fire department to see what they want first. So that's the street application for this thing. Sometimes people elect also, let's pretend this is a pipe coming out of the ground, a 6-inch pipe coming out of the ground. Some people elect to put a swivel or a full-time swivel on. It's really easy to accomplish. You have this pipe coming out of the ground, you put a coupler on here like this over the pipe, and the next thing you put in, this is called a full-time swivel. You slide right into there, and this will turn 360 degrees. And that's the application right there. All you have to do now is go ahead and install your dry hydrant right on top of that. Now we're going to talk about the second part of the application of putting a dry hydrant. This is the application that goes into the water. There's many ways to do this. So let's say we have a 6-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe. It extends out into a lake or a pond, and we need to support that so it doesn't sit on the bottom of the water source. So let's pretend this is an application that's going out into a water source like that, and then we typically put a strainer on there. So this is the pretend pipe. Then you just take a 6-inch coupler and you glue it onto there like that. Then the next step is you have choices on type of strainers you can use. This is called a flapper valve dry hydrant strainer. As you can see, you just take this end over here, you glue it into the coupler, and on this end has, obviously you can see it's full of different holes right here. So the application is designed to sit like this, so the holes are pointing down into this water source. Then this has a brass flapper valve, so it also has holes in it right here, so water can flow in here, water can flow in here. It's designed to get some of these holes can be clogged up and it still can be effective. There's typically a 3-to-1 safety ratio on these things. And the other thing too is if the fire department ever comes in and they want to force water the other direction to clean out this dry hydrant, it's very simple. The flapper opens up and all the debris will go out of it. In the meantime, this is heavy enough, this will always settle down like that to prevent fish or anything to get inside here. That's a standard application. You have to support this somehow in the water source so it stays off the bottom. Another application, instead of having a check valve, is actually a fixed dry hydrant strainer where the end cap does not move. It's just a fixed assembly. It's what there, so it's screwed on there. Same thing, this has all the holes in it, and it just glues on with the standard coupler to the pond. The other application is to be able to support this in the lake. You can see there's some plugs here on both sides, and what a lot of people do, they'll take a piece of rebar and they'll drive it through these two plugs right here, and that'll help it'll slide up and down on that piece of rebar. And to prevent that from moving too much, they make a dry hydrant support clamp. Typically it has 2 holes in it, and this is kind of reminds you of the same thing that's underneath your sink in your bathroom. So you put the rebar in the lake, and you pop these caps off, you stick this over the rebar, and you take this clamp and you put it on top of the rebar and you wrap it around the other side. And this prevents it from going up and down on the rebar, and it holds it steady. That's just one way to assemble this in the lake. But they're pretty simple. It's already ready to go. All you do is glue them on with the standard coupler and off you go. Thank you. And the last type of typical situation we see, sometimes people use actually a galvanized pipe coming out of the ground instead of a PVC pipe. If that's the situation, let's pretend this is a galvanized pipe coming out of the ground and it has a 90-degree elbow on here with some MPT pipe thread sticking out, and you want to put a dry hydrant adapter on there. All their adapters are the same size, even though this side could be Storts, could be a female, could be a male, could be 6 inches or 4.5 inches, whatever. This side of the dry hydrant adapter never changes. This will always be 6-inch. So if you have a 6-inch, 90-degree metal galvanized pipe with MPT threads, you can use any of our adapters that are just to adapt the part by himself, because this right here is actually an MPSH thread and has a gasket inside there. So what we're going to do is you would unloosen the set screw, and then you would just thread this onto a 6-inch MPT pipe. You thread it on, put the set screw, the gasket right there will prevent it from leaking, and you're done with the assembly and everything. So you don't have to use PVC pipe if you don't want to. But any of our adapters come either a 90-degree, 45-degree, comes either straight with the PVC pipe, or comes with this assembly on it. So anyway, PVC, galvanized pipe, either way works with us. Just buy the adapter part if you need that, if you're going with galvanized PVC.